All right, welcome back to episode 2 of Heavy Machinery Artist. Today's letter day. We got the main image done on the south end of the field, and up here on the top 40 acres we're going to put letters. And letters is a little different process, and so I just thought it'd be interesting to see how I go about doing this. It's a little different. Is it easier? Well, I think it is, because I actually do use some of the auto steer capabilities of this tractor to do auto steer letters. It doesn't do the whole letter itself, but it helps me a lot for mapping them out. I'm pretty particular with the letters being straight as I can get them, and you know, looking good from the air. So I will show you my map here in a minute on what we're doing and how I'm doing it. And here's the map. So this is the top 40 acres of the field. We're done with the bottom half, got rid of that part. New layer on here that I put the letters, got them positioned where I want them. You can see where we are. That's where we're at right now. Now, I want them straight across the field, all the same size, uniform. So what I've done here with the auto steer on the tractor is I have my AB line set for straight east and west, because we're lucky down here in the valley. We got square fields. They're flat. We can go straight east and west. So hit the auto steer button. I've already kind of driven here where I think the letters need to be. So this is going to be the top part of the letter, you know, the top part right there. And since the top portion of each letter has at least some flat area on it, what I'm going to do when I get to the end here, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to drive east along the top of the letters, and I'm going to drop my disc down at the crest of the S, at the top of the U, the top of the R, all while the tractor is going straight west. And I'm going to make a small mark there to map out the top of each letter. I'll show you how I do that in a minute. Now we're going here. We got the auto steer going on our east and west. You can see we're just pulling in. We're going to wait till we get right past where that crest of the D is, and we're going to put a little bit of a line there so we know where the top of that letter is at. Think about there. That matches what we got on the other side. So we'll set her down and making a mark, and we'll just watch that tractor till the nose starts showing on the edge of the D, and then we're going to lift up, and that'll be the framework of our letter D up here. And there we go. That's good enough. You can see over here where I made those marks. Well, there we go. Those are our framework of our letters on the bottom there. So that's how it works. I'm going to keep going here. I'll show you a little bit more in a little bit. All right, we got the top letters done up here. Top row never. That's all up there, and it's done. And so now we're back here to finish up what we started on the bottom row. Now we got all the east-west part done except for the bars on the E and that kind of thing, but now we're on the north and south part of it, and that's about the same way as I do the east and west. Now I've got my guidance track set to a straight north and south line, and what I'll go through and do is I will do the north and south part of the letter with the auto steer, and then when I'm done with that, well, that leaves me certain parts like the curve on the D, the curve on the R, and those I just got to kind of guess at, but it helps if I box the letters in with a few north and south lines, because I know a little bit about lettering, you know, if you've got a certain box that letter has to fit in, well, you can make it look pretty close to how it needs to. And, you know, when it comes down to it, this is going to get viewed from 1,000 feet or higher. A lot of imperfections disappear at 1,000 feet, and if you get to 10 or 15,000 feet, well, you can't pick out a lot of details. But I still like to get it as nice as I can, and so that's what the goal is. That's what we're doing here. So what I'm going to do is I will drive forward, and I'm on my north and south line. Tractor will be driving forward straight north on its own, and all I have to do is drop that disc down where it needs to make a line in the middle of that E right there. So I'm going to get her started up and going here, and that's what we're going to do. I drove east and west. I have a couple tracks out there from my tractor to show me about where I need to set it down, and that, you know, eliminates a little bit of the discrepancies that might come from just watching the map. If I have a solid line that goes all the way across all the letters, well, they'll all be pretty uniform when it's all said and done. So I know by my track out and going east and west in front of me, and by looking at the map about where I need to make my lines. So I'm going to get moving here, and we'll show you how that works. All right, we are just crawling forward here. If you look, you can see my tracks there going east and west. I know that's where I need to set down at, and I marked out the middle of the bar on the E, so that's where I have to lift. And then I've got the same type of marks on the top side of this letter, so when we get done making this line, it'll be mapped out pretty good. It'll be pretty close to where it needs to be. So there's our track. Watch our disc here. And we'll get it set down where it needs to be, right about here. Set it down, and we're making a mark. I'm going to speed up a little bit, and this is going to be the middle part of our E. Don't look like it now, but we're just about done here, so we'll know pretty soon how it's going to look. Here's my other mark here. That's the bar on the E, so we know that's where we got to lift up at. We're going to do that, and we'll be that much closer to being done here. See by my mark, when I hit that, that's when I got to lift up. And we're lifting, and that's what it is. We'll do the same thing on the north side, and we'll be almost done with our E. And here we are, the last letter, the letter R. It's kind of hard to see from in here, but you can see I've got it mapped out. The farthest point of my curved part on the R is right there. The inner part is right there. And if you look over there, I've got the leg mapped out right there. Now, the reason I do this, one, it keeps it nice and square. Two, when I make this curve on the upper part of the R, if I've got the farthest point mapped out right there, instead of making one long curve and trying to make it all look uniform, this way I can make a half a curve here on the top corner, and then I just have to try to replicate that on the bottom end, but I don't have to think about my farthest point and keeping that square. So that's why I do that right there. Got the middle part mapped out here. Here's the leg of the R. So we're at the last letter. Stick with me a little bit longer here, and then I'm going to put the drone up and we'll see what we got.